Hi there, it's Wednesday today, and so I thought that today I would like to talk a little bit about the 7 principles of spiritualism. So for those of you who don't know, and probably most people, unless you know me, know this, that the basis of my spiritual belief system is within spiritualism. I have been a spiritualist for many years, going right back to the sort of late 70s, and for many years I was very involved with the Spiritualist Church of South Africa, and eventually became the president of the Spiritualist Church of South Africa. Served on that committee for probably about 8 years or so, and then decided to leave and hand the reins over to somebody else to continue with that. And so my spiritual life has progressed, and I've been doing a whole lot of other things since then. So today I just thought that if we go through the 7 principles, they actually give us something nice to talk about. Okay, so I'll read them out to you, but I'll also put them up on the screen just now, and you'll be able to see exactly what they are in case you'd want to take them down. So it is the fatherhood of God, the brotherhood of man, the continuity of life after the transition called death, and communion with the spirit world, the ministry and inspiration of spirit guides and helpers, individual responsibility on earth, and compensation and retribution hereafter for all the good and evil done on earth, the eternal progression of the soul, the leadership and teachings of Jesus of Nazareth and other great masters. So if we go into this just in a little bit more detail, I can just, I'd like to talk a little bit about my kind of take on how I understand these 7 principles. And so the fatherhood of God, I think, is something that each one of us can really relate to quite easily, and it doesn't really matter what religion you actually have. Each one of us have a supreme being, whether we refer to that supreme being as God or not. But for those of us who do, we understand that God is our Father, and that within that position that He holds, comes to us with unconditional love, is always there to protect us, to see to our needs, to listen to what we have and give us advice and guidance in our lives as well, and to basically really just help us in our spiritual path, help us as His children, growing and developing ourselves along our spiritual journey. Okay, and then the brotherhood of man. For me, the brotherhood of man is something that a lot of us at this point in our life, here whilst we are living an earthly existence, are trying to kind of get to understand and get to grips with that, what the brotherhood of man actually is. And for me, it really shows that we shouldn't be making any discrepancies or seeing any differences between us, because my understanding that I have come to in this lifetime of us as humans is that every single one of us are looking for the same thing. We are all wanting that validation. We all want to feel like we make a contribution towards the world. We all want to feel respected. We all want to be loved. We all want to feel what it feels like to be loved as well. And so it doesn't matter whether you are, whatever nationality you are, whatever part of the world that you actually occupy, we still are all looking for that same thing. And when we come to that understanding, we tend to judge a lot less. And when we're judging a lot less, we are able to accept each other much more, and we can feel that connection of our brotherhood. Then we have continuity of life after the transition called death and communion with the spirit world. And of course I think that most religions once again believe that the soul continues to exist after passing, through the veil of death. And for, I would say for us as spiritualists, and I think a lot of other religions have the same kind of understanding as well, and that is that we actually are able to communicate with those that have gone before us. So, we know that we have bonds of love that can never ever be broken, and so those bonds of love is what keeps us connected to those in spirit. And when we go back to spirit, we know that we are going to meet up with those who have gone before us as well, and we are going to be afforded the opportunity to kind of reconnect with them again, and at that time to also assess, how we lived our lives together and what we actually managed to achieve together in accordance with the contracts that we signed when we came into this lifetime together as well. So the ministry and inspiration of spirit guides and helpers. So yes, I do know that I have guides, and a lot of us do know that we have guides. We essentially everybody is assigned guides. So you might have been assigned, say, one kind of protection guide who has always been with you throughout every single lifetime that you have lived. And then you get different guides who come into your space from time to time. So in my case, I have two main guides that I work with. The one is Oshvarya, and she's an African traditional healer. She originally comes from the Maasai tribe, but has been with me that I can remember as far back as possible through quite a number of my lifetimes. And within this lifetime, I was introduced to her again when I started to consciously work on communicating and connecting with spirit and connecting with the guides. And for me, she's very much like a mother figure. She's very much a teaching guide. She has great wisdom, and she's with me every single day. She talks to me all day long. We're kind of best friends, and that's how I see her. And I know that she will always be there to give me advice and to kind of keep me on the straight and narrow as well. And then just recently I was very, very fortunate to receive a brand new guide into my space, and his name is Kevin, and he comes to me and sits with me mostly in the workshops that I run and in my meditation classes. And so he is helping to facilitate what the guides are trying to achieve within the spirit world and achieve with us as spirits on the earth at the moment. So everybody really is working for the betterment of each other, and so he's coming to change slightly the way that I do meditation as well, because there are mediumship classes, so they are teaching people how to become mediums and how to connect with the guides and how to connect with our loved ones. And he's also been showing me sort of lots of new and exciting things as well that I'm able to share with each class. So I love having Kevin around. He's a very big, strong male energy, and just what I need in my meditation classes, because most of them are ladies anyway. Just a big smile. Then number 5 is individual responsibility on earth, in compensation and retribution hereafter for all the good and evil done on earth. So most definitely with us coming now into the age of Aquarius and under the dominance of the seventh ray, everybody is being pushed towards taking total responsibility for their own lives. And that is, you know, in absolutely everything that we do. So we can no longer just think that, you know, somebody else did something for us, therefore we are now okay. You know, we have to understand that we are accountable for our actions, and therefore we need to take responsibility for all our actions and our thoughts and our, you know, and the things that we say, so that by the time we do go back to Spirit and we are given the opportunity to go over our lives and to see what it is that we have done, there isn't somebody that's sitting there that is passing out judgment and saying, you know, okay, you were bad here and there, and therefore you will go back and you will be punished for X, Y, Z. So, you know, you get given that much responsibility for your own life that when you go back to Spirit, you look at your own life and you see, with obviously the help of the Spirit guides and helpers, they give you insight into where you can see where you didn't actually stick to the contract that you signed initially. And so there's certain things within your life that you didn't achieve. And so the retribution then would actually be you choosing another lifetime, that you would come into that lifetime and you would be given the opportunity within that lifetime to do it better, to do it in a different way, to be able to understand what it was that you did wrong and how you can overcome that and how you can handle that situation or similar kinds of situations in a different way that brings you from a seat of strength rather than from the viewpoint of weakness and getting it wrong again. Okay? And then there's the eternal progression of the soul, and that's something that I've been talking about quite a lot in the videos that I've been doing. And you know, and that is that we are all spirit and that we are not human beings and that we are all living a spiritual existence, and that so understanding that as spirit we always have been and we always will be. And then the final one, which is the leadership and teaching of Jesus of Nazareth and other great masters. And so of course, you know, we know that Jesus wasn't the only great master who came to walk the earth with us, but we definitely see him as one of the greatest masters, okay, particularly in the Christian teachings and as in the, you know, spiritualist teachings as well. And really, Jesus came to teach us how we should live our lives. If we are wanting to live our lives as pure spiritual beings, then we need to really take more than just one leaf out of his book and understand that there is no judgment, that there is unconditional love, that we take away from ourselves that need to be right, that need to see ourselves as better than somebody else, as having, you know, a better religion than somebody else, as having a better status in life than somebody else, those kind of things, you know. So, I mean, Jesus really came to teach us so many things, and every time I think about Jesus, I think about one of the best friends that I ever had, who battled her entire life with weight, to the point that she actually passed away in her very early 50s through her heart weakening and, you know, through the problems that she had with her weight. But the one thing that she always used to remind me of is, you know, that one piece out of the Bible. I think it's John, I can't actually remember. I'll go and have a look at it up and put it up on the screen. But it says, "A new commandment I give unto you is to love one another as I have loved you." And I think if we can take that one thing as our mantra and understand that if you didn't learn anything else from the great Master Jesus, it is to love one another as he loved us. So I'm going to leave that there and just kind of remind everybody, please, if you are enjoying my videos, to look and click on the link on the bottom of your screen so that you can go and make a donation to my Patreon account. Sorry, that way I'm able to facilitate keeping this channel going for everybody. And I hope that you enjoyed the 7 Principles of Spiritualism. Perhaps you've never heard them before. And yes, I'll be back again tomorrow. Until then, take care and bye-bye.